Urgent, G-Men fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Big Blue news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Giants 24, 5 million bust seems destined for position change. Insider at the NFL owners meeting, New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen noted that former top 10 draft pick Evan Neal is open to a position change from offensive tackle to guard, something fans have been clamoring for a long time. Later, ESPN NYG insider Jordan Raanan followed up on those comments, stating Evan Neal seems destined for a move to guard. It would seem with Andrew Thomas and Jermaine Eluemunor entrenched as the starting tackles that a move to guard would make sense, Raanan continued. Neal has struggled in his first 3 seasons at tackle, ranking 74th of 76 qualifying tackles in pass block win rate 82, 9 since entering the league. At the owners' meeting, Schoen concluded that Neal is willing to do whatever he can do to help the team. Giants must try Evan Neal position change to guard. Before it's too late, after being selected first round, Neal signed a rookie deal that was worth approximately $551 million. Assuming the Giants pass on Neal's 5th-year option, that rookie deal will come to an end following the 2025 campaign. Realistically, the Giants should have changed Neal's position to guard last year. That would have given them 1 full season of evaluation before deciding on the 5th-year option. Unfortunately, they've already missed that opportunity, and now they must make this switch before it's too late. Perhaps Big Blue can still trade Neal or work out a long-term extension if he shows some success at guard. Otherwise, they'll get absolutely nothing out of a former number 7 overall pick. It's easy to forget that Neal only turns 25 years old in September. There's still a chance he could develop into something useful, but the Giants must act fast. Giants should also switch failed 3rd-rounder Joshua Ezeudu to guard while they're at it with Neal. The Giants would also be wise to change Joshua Ezeudu's position to guard. The former 3rd-rounder has been just as much of a bust as the aforementioned 1st-rounder at offensive tackle, and it's time NYG let them both compete inside. The Giants invested in a new veteran swing tackle in free agency, signing James Hudson III. They also brought in OT depth in Stone Forsythe. These moves hinted that Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll are done waiting on Neal and Ezeudu to figure it out. Having said that, there is now a logjam at guard. That's not necessarily a bad thing, considering all the injuries the Giants have dealt with in the past. However, it does create a massive camp competition on the interior if the plan is to move both Neal and Ezeudu inside. If fully healthy, John Runyon Jr. will start at left guard. Either veteran Greg Van Roten or 2024 UDFA standout Jake Kubas would then be the likely frontrunner for right guard. That's where the open competition would occur. Big Blue brought back veteran backup Aaron Stinney, and Austin Schlottman is still under contract for 1 more year, along with Neal and Ezeudu potentially. That would give the Giants 7 guard candidates before the NFL draft. Most would be competing for a roster spot, but the hope is this team finally achieves sturdy OL depth. Adding more tackle insurance in the mid to late rounds of the draft might also be smart. Pausing this news, just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Big Blue news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Growing tension between Giants. Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll have been working together since 2018 when the latter arrived as Bills OC to start the Josh Allen era. The quarterback's rise placed both in position to work in leadership roles, and the Giants signed off on bringing the pair in to steer a rebuild. The Giants' own QB plan has played the lead role in that rebuild not taking off. Daniel Jones did not play well before a 2023 ACL tear doomed that Giants season, and the since-departed QB did not move back on track in 2024. That called into question the Giants' decision to pass on 3 QBs, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix at number 6 overall last year. Now the team is amid another deep dive into a QB class, this one a lower-regarded contingent compared to 2024. How the Giants come out of this draft may play the biggest role in determining how much longer John Mara sticks with his current regime. Mara joined Jimmy Haslam in retaining both his team's power brokers after a 3-14 season, but the Giants have trended downward since their surprising 2022 divisional round appearance. That run is propping up a regime that has been unable to remotely approach that success level since Entering year 4, the Daboll partnership may be seeing cracks emerge. Months after the HC and GM conducted separate press conferences breaking from recent norms on Black Monday, the New York Daily News' Pat Leonard notes the two have veered closer to working as separate entities. HC-GM disputes are commonplace in the NFL, especially among struggling teams, but if the Giants are not currently aligned, fingers could point back at Mara for retaining this partnership when a momentous decision awaits. The Giants mistakenly gave Jones 6 seasons, despite most of that tenure producing unremarkable returns, and are still attempting to recover from choosing the wrong Eli Manning successor. This offseason represents the Daboll pair's first chance to identify its own QB, but so far, a Russell Wilson-Jameis Winston duo headlines the depth chart. Giants will they want they rumors regarding Shedder Sanders are swirling, but the Colorado passer's value may not align with the number 3 overall draft slot. Both Schoen and Daboll are at Colorado's Pro Day today, per SI.com's Albert Breer. This represents a course change for Daboll, who did not attend Miami's Pro Day. Schoen said the fourth-year HC prefers to study QBs at private workouts, but after Leonard noted Daboll was not scheduled to trek to Boulder, his showing up along with the GM, assistant GM Brandon Brown, OC Mike Kafka, DC Shane Bowen, and player personnel director Tim McDonnell is certainly notable. A seminal Sanders or Travis Hunter decision may await Big Blue at number 3, provided the Browns pick Abdul Carter at 2. The Giants are not working out Sanders in Boulder. The New York Post's Paul Schwartz adds, noting one could be scheduled before the mid-April deadline, a scenario in which Schoen and Daboll take a best player available route by choosing Hunter or Carter over Sanders is logical after Mara left 2 embattled decision-makers in charge. A job preservation play would stand to be strongly considered, potentially forcing ownership to intervene. Mara's decision to retain both rather than make another quick-trigger firing did not appear to satisfy all in the team's building. Some hope existed at the front office and personnel levels, per Leonard. Mara would move on from Daboll after last season. We heard late last season Schoen and Daboll were not a package deal, and the owner has traditionally been more patient. With GMs than HCs, the 2022 Coach of the Year took over play-calling duties last season, despite Kafka serving in that role for most of his first 2 years on the job. But Mara suggested his HC give the play sheet back to Kafka in January. Some uncertainty about whether Mara or Daboll suggested it emerged thanks to Daboll's comments. Schoen has not done well in the draft since taking over, seeing early round picks Evan Neal, Joshua Ezeudu, Wan'Dale Robinson, Deonte Banks, John Michael Schmitz, and Jalen Hyatt have not offered solutions just yet. But ownership, in Leonard's view, appeared to place more of the blame on the Giants' coaching. Daboll and Schoen's separate pressers in January caught considerable attention from those inside and outside the building, Leonard adds, and this will be a storyline to monitor this offseason. Both decision-makers will be candidates for in-season firings should the Giants not show early season signs of life. Giants' key decision-maker, personally scouted franchise-changing draft. QB, the New York Giants signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in free agency, but they are serious about keeping tabs on quarterbacks available in the 2025 NFL Draft, at least based on a key decision-maker personally running the rule over a potentially franchise-changing signal caller. It was senior player personnel executive Chris Mara, brother of team president and co-owner John Mara, who attended the Pro Day. Of Ole Miss QB Jackson Dart. That's according to ESPN's Jordan Raanan, who heard recently from multiple sources that Chris Mara was down as part of a large contingent in Oxford, checking out Jackson Dart. Definitely caught my attention as the Giants continue to scout QBs. Mara's mission to cast an eye over Dart was revealed on Friday, April 4th. The same day, a large contingent of coaches and front office executives visited Colorado to watch Shedder Sanders, among others. Giants head coach Brian Daboll made a big decision about Sanders at the Buffalo's Pro Day, but Dart remains an intriguing option. One former Super Bowl winning head coach, John Gruden, called a prospect with a rifle arm, sharp mind, and the right attitude to be a franchise-changing player. Whoever gets him will be very happy. Despite Gruden's endorsement, many doubt Dart's first-round credentials. Yet those doubts could suit the Giants, who are positioned to take a work in progress at football's most important position, who's ready to learn behind 2 proven veterans. Jackson Dart's a worthy risk for Giants. Dart represents something of a risk because of the Lane Kiffin-coached college-style offense he operated for 3 years at Ole Miss. The pared down scheme took advantage of Dart's one-red, throwing and dynamic rushing skills, but questions persist about the 21-year-old's ability to transition his game to the pros. Many of those doubts were expressed by Ronan's colleague Jordan Reed during an appearance on the Locked On Giants podcast with Patricia Traina. Reed explained how Dart is a second-round quarterback to me, just because of the transition process. I think that's going to take a little bit longer than some of the other guys in this class. Reed's concern stems from how Dart's offense really didn't prepare him a whole bunch from a Reed standpoint. There's also the feeling Dart will need adjust to consistently playing under center and going from a second to a third and even fourth. Reed: those aren't minor concerns, but they are mechanical issues the Giants could help Dart refine via consistent coaching. Daboll made his reputation turning raw talent Josh Allen into a Pro Bowler while offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, so he should be able to add nuance to Dart's skill set. If Daboll could work the same magic with Dart, he'd quickly improve a prospect Nate Tice of Yahoo Sports calls a streaky player, but when he's feeling it, he can really put together some nice drives. The potential is obvious, but Dart is also a rising talent who looks increasingly likely to last until the second round. It's less likely the Giants would use the third overall pick to take him when they're no longer desperate for quarterback help at the top of the draft. Giants keeping QB draft options open. They don't have to chase a QB, but the Giants are leaving everything on the table when it comes to ways of adding to the depth chart, even if it means targeting the position early. The 34th pick positions the Giants to still go after a promising passer. He could be Dart, according to Josh Edwards of CBS Sports, but there are alternatives. Those alternatives include waiting until round 3 to take Ohio State's Will Howard, per Sports Illustrated's Brandon Olson. Meanwhile, Alabama dual-threat QB Jalen Milroe is another viable post-first-round option. Using a top 3 pick on a non-quarterback playmaker makes the most sense after the Giants' moves in free agency, but ignoring the position completely is a risk Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen can't afford in this draft. And now, G-Men fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Big Blue. I'll be back any moment with more Big Blue news. Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go Giants!